Oh my god, my hair looks awkward. The way it dries. So, this is going to be my review, again, of Sailor Moon. I just watched, while I'm cleaning, um, my long rant on it, and it's absolutely terrible. So, I'm going to try to shorten that up because, yeah. Anyway, you don't know about it, so I'm now criticizing myself. But I'm gonna go grab my little Sailor Moon, which is right here. Since I don't have a bookshelf anymore, had to sell that when I moved to Seattle. All that crap. But yeah, if you saw my haul, I got the Sailor Moon box set, 1 through 6. It came also with the stickers, which I think are in here. I'm in my undies. Hi. Where is it? It's somewhere in here. It has to be in here. No, where is my Sailor Moon sticker? There it is. Oh, it's next to my money from Hong Kong, which is fun and exciting. But here it is. So it came with cute little stickers with all the Sailor Guardians, or the original first Sailor Guardians, and along with Tiny Usagi, or Chibiusa. Anyway, so there's that. And I think I got it at Barnes & Noble's for like $60, but you can get it on Amazon for like $40, which is ridiculous that I got it, but whatever. I got it at the time. I got it in time for the new Sailor Moon Revise, which is airing right now. I think they're going to be airing episode 4 pretty soon, or 3. I don't know. I have to check. And I have only watched episode 1, which, by the way, is following the manga a lot more too. But anyway, so all of you should know what Sailor Moon is. Either you searched it or you are stuck in a closet and don't know what it is, because Sailor Moon is like ridiculously popular through the world. It's, I think, one out of all the manga series and anime series ever made. I think Dragon Balls, Naruto, and obviously Sailor Moon are, I think, the world's most popular anime, and I think Dragon Balls and Sailor Moon are the most popular, just because so many people who do not even watch, read anything from Japan, when it comes to story mediums, watched it. Like, in Germany, I thought it was a German story, a German cartoon. One, because we also had a theme song done in a German techno music, which you should look up, by the way. I used to know all the words to that as a kid, in first and second grade. And yeah, so it was really popular, and of course I read manga and anime now, but that's also, my manga collection just started very recently. I've kind of been watching anime all the time, just not as heavy as I do now, because my boyfriend really watches that, which you would never know if you saw him in a glimpse in my last video, and he's actually very masculine and muscular, and you wouldn't think he watches anime, but he does. Where do I start? This series was originally published in 1991 to 1992 by Kodansha Comics, which is a Japanese publishing company, along with Shueisha, which is also very huge. Kodansha has a magazine, one of the oldest running manga magazines, called Nakayoshi. Yeah, Nakayoshi magazine, which is a what do you call those? I don't even remember. It's a phone book comic magazine, so they do chapter at a time or something. I actually have one from Shueisha, but anyway. So that was first introduced there. Before this series, Sailor Moon, came out, it was Sailor V, which was a one-shot. And the author, Naoko, she actually, kind of not like a tester, but she wanted to expand on the story and started with Sailor Moon. So, even though Sailor Moon does make an appearance, not Sailor Moon, Sailor V does make an appearance and becomes a major character in this story as well, just fun fact. I don't think that's really giving anything away because I'm not telling you who it is, but yeah, so there's that. So it was immensely popular, it became an anime, it was supposed to be only one arc, so that means only 1 through 3 should exist. So these should go bye-bye. So only these 3 should exist, and it ended up not happening that way. Because of the popularity of course, the manga, but really because of the anime, um, the author was asked to make more art, like write more. So there were, I think there's 4 story arcs in total. These first 6 in this box set should cover the Dark Kingdom, and then it is, well, yeah, kind of Dark Kingdom, and then what is it called, Black Moon? The Black Moon, which, by the way, Black Moon was pretty intense. I cried in this particular volume. Not cried, but teared up. And that was in public, and that was not pretty. So I shouldn't, especially now because I'm not shaved. But Volume 6 introduces the new arc, Arc 3. So that's interesting. And I think they're going to be introducing more Sailor Scouts, which is exciting as hell. So yeah, I just went over a little bit too much on that. But damn, it is loud. It's a rush hour right now. So, this series was published into English. I don't know the years for it, but Tokyo Pop published it, and all 18 of them, and they were, of what I heard, terrible translations, and they were mirrored, so they flipped the images so it could be read left to right instead of right to left, like Japanese stories normally do, or books normally do, and I heard it was terrible. But in 2003, Kodansha revised all of the whole series again, to be a new, like what you see now. And they gave them new cover art, digital editing on everything. They took the short stories out, made them into their own stories, which you can, I think there's 2. And then also, they revised also Sailor V. So it's like one huge series set. And this is kind of the love child of that. This was the new covers made. Of course, the American version is much taller. In 2011 is when Kodansha published this revised version into English. So it took, almost an entire decade for them to send us the new revise after Tokyo Pop's terrible translation. So there's that. And they also condensed it down to only 12 volumes versus 18. Which 18 is a lot. 12 is a lot, but 18 is a bit much. So yeah, there it goes from that. Along with the 20th anniversary, because even though these may be new to the Western world because we just got them, these revised versions have been out since 2003. And in 2013, Kodansha published and released another revised version, which is down to 8 volumes versus 12. Or is it 10 volumes? I think it's 10 volumes. And they have new cover art, and they're also as big as these ones, if not a little bit bigger. And if you've been to a Japanese bookstore recently, like one here in Seattle, or the internet, period, you've seen them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I wanted to buy them, but I'm not that big of a fan of Sailor Moon to buy Sailor Moon, the entire series, again. But maybe in the future I might, just because it's only 10. But we'll see. And I think they also did that with they're doing it with the short stories and also Sailor V, so they're redoing all those. And that's exciting. I know, of course, Sailor Moon Crystal, the redoing of the show, is out, which is going to follow the story more, which is really nice. I know that the first airing of the show, which I've watched a little bit on Hulu, the first version of the show, they have a lot of fillers that never happen. Things happen a little bit more quickly in the story. In the manga version, actually, in the first 2 volumes, I think they move a little too fast for me, just because I'm not used to. I had to get used to the way she wrote things. There's also, in this English translation of the second version of Sailor Moon, there are, of course, there's a pretty decent translation too, but they kept the Japanese sound effects all over the place, which was a bit distracting because, there I am reading in English, and then I'm looking at the sound effects, and then I have to switch my brain into Japanese to read them, which is fine. It helps practice a bit more and lets you learn the sound effects that Japanese people associate with things. And so there's that. So it was a little bit distracting and confusing at first, and I do know that the one that you can buy now brand new. They're going to be revised from the first edition that was actually published with these revised, just because there was a lot of translation issues of what I remember reading. Things were put in there that no one really says. I think a lot of translations do that, like the word "moreover" being used really heavily in skip beat, which is like my one issue with the translation is "moreover." No one uses that. But it's pretty good. They fixed all the issues in a translation and put that in the back. They have the translation notes from the translator, why he did certain translations, why he maybe kept some things, and also cultural things, which I think most manga in the United States and Western countries have, which is nice. You learn some things, like you learn how Japanese people associate the planets. So there's a lot of those things. You learn, like, I would have never thought the planet Mercury is a water planet. Because, in the Western world we associate our planets with the Greek and Roman gods that they're associated with. So that's how we know them as. I don't think of Jupiter as a nature planet. I think of it as a big godly, like the god planet. So there's, those associations you have to learn, that you kind of learn. And you learn that there's no man on the moon. You learn that Usagi, her name is Usagi, which means bunny or rabbit. And that's what the Japanese people say is on the moon, is a rabbit on the moon. So that's a fun cultural thing. That's always fun. Another fun, interesting thing that gets kind of very prevalent in a second arc, in the Black Moon arc, is the heavy usage of geology terms. That means rocks and chemical stuff. The author is originally has a degree in geology, so there's a lot of that. There's a lot of scientific-y words in it, which is okay with me because I know what most of them are. But for a kid's story, that's kind of awkward. It being, of course, it is a magic girl superpower shoujo manga, which has a lot of love, romance. It has the fighting scenes, but there's also a lot of astrology, Greek Roman themes. There's a lot of Japanese elemental themes, which you learn too, which is always fun. So it has a lot of like sciencey stuff, kind of associated with the story, which you don't see a lot of manga, especially shoujo manga, associating itself with. It's generally more like, I'm in love and these are my feelings. This one's more like, I'm in love, but I fight people and here's some things that have to do with science. And I think, because it has a lot of like Greco-Roman themes and some of these science things that we have in the United States too, and most Western and Europe, it makes it very easy to relate to stuff and understand things just because we've learned it within our culture. So it's not something like completely new slate. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Sailor Moon. You should read it, even though it's a girl, which doesn't matter to me, but it's a girl manga. You need to read it. It is amazing. It does move a bit fast in the first couple of volumes, but it does pace down a little bit slower, and it's so good. It is really good. Like, you need to read this, even if you're some dude that's like, I only read like Naruto. Which, by the way, stop reading Naruto and read this instead. Read something better. I can't stand Naruto, if you can't tell. But my little brother loves it, which is hilarious to me. But anyway, so that's my thought on Sailor Moon. A little history behind it, and yeah. Toodles.